Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is James and welcome back to Soundline. Another video for you guys today. It's got a new range of speakers to talk about. This is the Monitor Audio Bronze 7th generation of speakers. Overall, the range has condensed a wee bit. They've gone from having 2 models of bookshelf just to 1 and having 2 models of floor standing down to just 1. And I think it's a good change because A, it's made the choices, simpler. I've compared all these speakers to the previous range already and they already do outperform the previous generation of speakers. So I'll talk a bit more about how they sound towards the end of the video. In terms of overall design changes from a technology standpoint, the range now uses 6.5-inch bass drivers and mid-bass drivers with, wider cones, wider spiders, more powerful motors, wider voice coils. So overall, the bass and mid-bass drivers, though materially are the same, they have essentially reinvented it to be a bit more beefy. The tweeter is basically the same, but they have spent much more time developing the waveguide and the ventilation in the back of the tweeter for improved clarity in the treble range. And then they've also changed the front baffle in quite a significant way. It's small but significant in terms of results. The previous range had I think it was MDF or HDF style painted front baffle, and now they're using laminated plywood, which both adds to the rigidity and I think contributes to the overall natural sound signature of the speakers. But I actually really like the way it looks. If you look in closely here on the edge, you can see that both the black finish and the white finish have this exposed ply sort of edge, which looks really nice and ties in really nicely with the block racks and some of the other turntables that we have here. The white model has the exposed kind of oaky, warm oaky looking tone of plywood, and then the black range, I think this has been really well done. It's still a laminated black body, but then the front plywood baffle, the edge of the baffle is stained black, so you still get to see that lovely plywood grain. But it is quite dark, so good for theatres. And then the actual front face of it is a black oak veneer. Looks basically identical to the black oak you get in the Silver Series. Talking about the Silver Series, they've also now brought the feet from the Silver Series floor standers into the Bronze Series floor standers. So that's a big upgrade. So overall, I think the aesthetics are a real improvement in this range. In terms of grills, again, keeping in consistency with the rest of their range, they have gone to the D-shape grill now, and all of them just come with this nice charcoal color. Works great on both the black and on the white range. There, looks really nice. Talking about how these are kind of an overall improvement from the predecessor, I compared the new Bronze 50 with the previous generation of Bronze 100, which is bigger, and this outperformed it in basically every way. Much clearer in the mid-range and a kind of an overall cleaner and sweeter treble. And in terms of bass, because I know what you're thinking, bigger speaker, 8-inch bass driver, surely that's got a bit more whack or a bit more punch. These kept up, absolutely. I really like these new Bronze 50s. They are bigger than the previous generation of Bronze 50s by a small amount, but they're still nice and slim. The proportions are overall really good. The floor standers, again, I threw these up against the larger previous generation of floor stander, the Bronze 500. And again, those are a big cabinet, big 8-inch bass drivers, dual 8-inch bass drivers. And they did have slightly more bottom end on those previous generation of Bronze 500s compared to these. But everything else about these was better. And I would say that the bass on these was actually more controlled anyway, even though that other model did have a bit more overall room filling effect. These guys were more accurate in every other way. They've done a really good job getting more out of the technology that they currently have simply by working with a better material for the baffle, increasing the power handling and the strength of the magnet and the overall size of the cone itself. The other model is the new Bronze wall speaker. This is replacing the previous generation of Bronze FX, which is a wall-mounted bipole-dipole trapezium style speaker that has a switch on the back for the different modes. They were intended to be surround sound speakers, and the new Bronze wall absolutely is designed to be used as a surround sound speaker, but because it is now just a single point facing speaker rather than bipole-dipole, it can actually also be used as a stereo speaker. So you can have two of them, side by side a TV for instance, as just simple stereo TV speakers. So there's a bit more application and potential use cases for the new wall speaker there. Okay, so talking about sound, I touched on it earlier, but just want to go into a wee bit deeper for those of you who are curious. As I said, I compared, I wanted to see what this new range was really capable of, so I threw the bookshelves against the better Bronze 100 bookshelves of the previous gen and the floor standers against the better Bronze 500s of the previous gen. And as I already said, they both knocked it out of the park. The overall signature that I'm really getting from this new range is kind of naturality. The mid-range down the middle is really organic sounding and crystal clear. The bass, I think, is smoother. On the previous gen, the bass kind of had this rocky, I don't want to say distorted, but almost kind of like aggressive sound. It was really good sort of party speaker. These can still be used for that, but I think if you're after something with a bit more finesse and fidelity, the bass on this range has improved quite significantly, so it's a lot more natural and smooth sounding. In terms of treble, yeah, it's beautiful, crystal clear, more sweet than the previous range, so I think overall it will actually be a less fatiguing speaker long term, which makes it great for home theatre where you've possibly got a bit more hardness introduced anyway. And if you're listening to music over a long period of time for partying or for entertaining or just general hi-fi listening, I think, as I say, I think they'll be less fatiguing because they're sweeter and smoother sounding. So overall, across the board, I think that everything they've done is a big improvement over the last range. I really like the two new finishes. I really like the overall sound improvements that they've made and the sizing choices that they've made. Overall, I'm really happy, really impressed with this new range. We have the bookshelf and the floor standing models here in the showroom for demonstration if you'd like to have a listen. Centre speakers are available on special order in either colour. Yeah, come down, have a listen, have a coffee. We'd love to see you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Ka kite anō.